You require mediation skills. There are a lot of conflicts in this work, both in the commission staff, outside. Those skills will come in handy. You will even require financial management skills because you sit in a position where you may have to make decisions touching on funds, prudent use of funds. You require also the ability to work with work with different people from diverse backgrounds, and you'll get all this. I mean, Kenya is a country with people with a lot of diverse backgrounds. You require skills on how you intermingle and work with these people, so that the work becomes seamless. Yes.
And what interpersonal skills do you think you have that will enable you to execute your mandate as a commissioner?
I am a team player. I take time to listen. I am a mediator, certified by the International Mediation Institute. Have experience with working with diverse people of diverse backgrounds. When you go to international organizations, like when I went to IGAD, that is an eight country members. So you get staff from all these countries, yet you have to work with them. Even when I went to EAC, there are people from that time, it was 5 countries, now it's about 8 countries. Again, you're interacting with people from all of these countries with the different backgrounds. And I was able to work with them properly. So I think I possess those skills, and even if I become a commissioner, I'll be able to interact properly and deliver on my mandate.
Thank you very much, and I wish you the best. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. Okubo. Now I want to invite Carol to also ask you some questions.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Okubo, let's speak about something I'm very familiar with. We have seen Kenyans approach the East Africa Court of Justice to determine electoral petitions that emanated from the Kenyan Supreme Court. We have 2 instances of 2 cases, I think, before the ESCJ. One of them has been determined to its logical conclusion, and I believe the other one is still pending. So under what circumstances can the East Africa Court of Justice hear cases involving electoral disputes in Kenya? Does it have jurisdiction? And if yes, what is that triggers that jurisdiction?
Yes, there has been a lot of confusion about that. And as I said earlier, we discovered even lawyers in Kenya don't understand the jurisdiction of East African Community. The fact that a case has been decided in Kenya does not mean it cannot go to East African Community. However, it does not go there as an appeal. It goes there because the way that case was handled in Kenya, it violated the treaty. Now, the famous case of Martha Karua, whoever went to court was not saying overturn the decision of the Supreme Court. The governor of Kirinyaga, he was already declared a governor. This person did not come to Arusha saying overturn that decision. All they were saying is that, look, while my matter was being handled in Kenya, it violated the treaty. And that is why the decision of the East African Court of Justice did not overturn what the Supreme Court did. It simply said you violated the applicant's rights under the treaty. So yes, the jurisdiction is violation of the treaty in whatever you do here. If you have your own laws here and violate them, your own laws, you can be taken there because under Article 6 of the treaty, which sets out the principles and underpinning the cooperation EAC, one of them is rule of law, governance, democracy. So if whatever you're doing here, you violate any of those, then somebody can comfortably take it to the East African Court of Justice and the court will have jurisdiction. But people confuse thinking you can go and appeal in Arusha. That is not the case.
Absolutely. So in respect to electoral matters, what are those principles in the EAC treaty that trigger the ESCJ jurisdiction?
There is the rule of law, Article 6 and 7.2. There is a good governance, the same articles. There is democracy. So if an event of an election here is done in a manner that it violates the rule of law in Kenya, that it violates the principles of governance in Kenya, that can trigger a case in Arusha.
All right, that's okay. So let's come back to Kenya. What is the dispute mechanisms, or what is the dispute resolution procedures around election petitions?
There are two scenarios here. There's one before the election is done. The disputes that arise particularly after nominations, which are handled by IBC before they even go to court. Then you have the disputes that come after the elections have been concluded. Somebody will be disputing the results that were announced, which goes through now the High Court, and I mean the local mechanism, mainly through the High Court, for Presidential, Supreme Court, all the others through the High Court, by filing election petitions.
Which court has jurisdiction to determine petitions concerning the elections of member of county assembly?
Also the High Court.
High Court?
Okay, sorry. They start in the subordinate court, but they can appeal all the way. They can even, if there is even a matter touching on the something which is of public importance, it can end up even the Supreme Court. But it will start from the subordinate court and it will come all the way.
So what does the Elections Act say specifically about the jurisdiction of the courts in regard to each of them? Let's speak about the member of county assembly. Where do they start, and where does the law contemplate that are going to end? You remember the Supreme Court of Kenya in the Governor of Meru, Munya's petition is when it invented the doctrine of necessity to determine the election petitions. But what did the law envisage before the Supreme Court expanded on that? What does the law say?
I think the law says like a county assembly will start in the subordinate court and it can end up in the Court of Appeal. For a member of parliament, it can start in the High Court, and if need be, it can reach the Supreme Court. Depending on how matters are determined in the Court of Appeal, there could be matters of public interest that requires interpretation of the Supreme Court. It might end up in the Supreme Court.